Stop scrolling. What I'm about to tell you is going to make you check your retirement account immediately. Right now. And when you see what I'm seeing, you're going to be furious. Absolutely furious at what's been hidden from you. Wall Street is spending $127 million right now to hide something from you. Something that's costing the average investor $47,000 over 30 years. And they're winning. There's a fee buried inside your index fund that you've never seen. Not once. It's completely invisible to you. It's not on your statement. It's not in the expense ratio you were shown. But you're paying it every single day. And in January 2026, you were supposed to finally see it. You were supposed to discover the truth about these hidden fees. But here's the problem. The regulations that would force Wall Street to reveal this fee are about to be killed. Destroyed by lobbyists. Lobbyists are working overtime in Washington right now to make sure you never find out how much money they're making from your retirement. And what they're hiding is so shocking that when I show you the numbers in a few minutes, you're going to wonder how this is even legal. I'm going to reveal exactly what's in these 2026 regulations, what Wall Street is desperately trying to hide, and the one number that changes everything. A number that determines whether you retire with $820,000 or $1.2 million. Same contributions. Same time frame. Massively different outcome because of fees. But first, I need to show you what happened to David. Because what happened to him is happening to you right now. And you have no idea. Stay with me. Because this is about to get very real. Very uncomfortable. Very eye-opening for you. Here's what almost nobody knows. In March 2024, the SEC quietly proposed new regulations called the Index Fund Transparency Act. Scheduled for January 2026. Designed to reveal something Wall Street has hidden for decades. Something they never wanted you to see. Something worth billions to them. And the moment these regulations were proposed, Wall Street declared war. $127 million in lobbying. An army of lawyers. Meetings with every Congress member. All to kill 3 simple requirements. 3 disclosures that would expose how much money they're making from your index funds. Let me show you. Requirement 1, Total Cost Disclosure. This is the big one. Fund companies would have to show you the real total cost of your index fund. Not just the expense ratio you see advertised. The actual all-in cost. Everything you're paying. Every single fee, visible and hidden. Right now, when you look at an index fund, you see something like 0.20%. And you think, great, I'm only paying 0.20% per year. But that's a lie. Not a mistake. A carefully constructed lie designed to make you think you're paying less than you actually are. There are hidden costs they don't show you. Securities lending fees. Transaction costs from rebalancing. Bid-ask spreads when they buy and sell stocks. Market impact costs when large trades move prices. None of this is in the expense ratio. But you're paying all of it. Every single cost. Studies show the real total cost can be 0.30% to 0.80% higher than the advertised expense ratio. That's massive when it compounds over decades. That fund showing 0.20%? It might actually cost you 0.70% or even 1.00%. 3 to 5 times what you thought you were paying. Let me show you what that means in dollars you can't afford to lose. You have $100,000 in an index fund. The expense ratio says 0.20%. You think you're paying $200 per year. Sounds cheap, right? You feel smart for choosing a low-cost fund. You think you're being responsible. But the real total cost is 0.70%. You're actually paying $700 per year. That's $500 you didn't know about. $500 they took without telling you. Over 30 years, that hidden $500 per year compounds into $47,000 in lost wealth. You thought you were being careful with fees, but you just lost $47,000. The 2026 regulations would force them to show you that real 0.70% number. No more hiding. No more fake low expense ratios while charging triple. And Wall Street is terrified. Because the moment you see the real cost, you're gone. You're moving to a fund that actually is low cost. But wait. It gets worse. Much worse. Requirement 2, Profit Margin Disclosure. This is the one that makes my blood boil. This is what they fear most. Fund companies would be required to disclose their profit margin on each fund. How much of your fee is actual cost versus pure profit? Right now, you have no idea. They collect fees, but you don't know if they're using that money to run the fund or stuffing it in pockets. Let me reveal something they don't want you to know. An S&P 500 index fund costs about $5 to $10 per $10,000 to actually operate. It's automated. A computer program buys stocks in proportion to the index. No research team. No expensive analysts. Almost no human labor at all. But many index funds charge $50 to $100 per $10,000. That's 0.50% to 1.00%. If it costs $10 to run but they charge $100, that's what? A 90% profit margin. 90%. They're keeping 90 cents of pure profit for every dollar you pay them. For running a computer program. The 2026 regulations would force them to show you that number. To admit they have an 85% to 90% profit margin on your index fund. Imagine seeing that disclosure. Your fund charges 0.75% but shows a 90% profit margin. You'd immediately ask, why am I paying so much? And you'd leave. Instantly. You'd move to Vanguard or Fidelity funds that operate near cost. And Wall Street knows this. That's why they're fighting. This is the disclosure Wall Street will spend anything to prevent. Because profit margin transparency destroys their entire business model of overcharging for index funds. Requirement 3, Tracking Error Disclosure. Index funds should track their index closely. S&P 500 up 10%, your fund should be up 9.95% after fees. But many funds don't track well. They underperform by way more than the stated fee. This tracking error is another hidden cost you're paying. The regulations would force funds to show their tracking error prominently. You'd see if your fund is efficient or silently underperforming and costing you money. Now here's why Wall Street is spending $127 million to kill this. The math is staggering. Absolutely staggering. Pay close attention to these numbers. There's $10 trillion in index funds in America. Average fees are about 0.50%. That's $50 billion per year the industry collects from investors like you. When these transparency regulations hit and investors see real costs and profit margins, they'll flee to low-cost funds. Mass exodus from expensive funds. Industry analysts estimate fees could drop 0.25% across the board from competition. A 0.25% fee reduction on $10 trillion means Wall Street loses $25 billion yearly. Every single year. Forever. Over 10 years, that's $250 billion transferred from Wall Street to Main Street investors. That's why they're fighting so hard. So spending $127 million to kill these regulations? That's the best investment they'll ever make. Spend $127 million to protect $250 billion in future revenue. But here's what makes me furious. The lies they're telling Congress to kill this. The absolute nonsense they're feeding politicians in Washington right now. They say these regulations are too burdensome to implement. They manage trillions with sophisticated algorithms but can't calculate a profit margin? Please. That's insulting. They say profit margins will confuse investors. Translation: if investors see how much we're ripping them off, they'll leave. That's the real reason they oppose this. They say this will harm innovation. No. Transparency increases competition. Competition lowers prices. That's capitalism. They just don't want real competition exposing their excessive fees. Let me show you what this means for you with a real person who has no idea he's being robbed every single day. Meet David. He's 35, makes $70,000 yearly, has $50,000 in his 401k and an S&P 500 fund with 0.65% expense ratio. He thinks he's doing great. David thinks 0.65% is fine. Not the cheapest, but reasonable. He's comfortable. He's not worried. He thinks he's invested smart for his retirement. Under 2026 regulations, David would discover his fund's real total cost is 1.10%. Hidden costs at 0.45%. And he'd see an 88% profit margin disclosure. David sees these numbers and realizes he's being destroyed. He moves to a Vanguard fund with 0.04% expense ratio and 0.08% total cost immediately. His costs drop from 1.10% to 0.08%. He's saving 1.02% per year. That sounds small, but watch what happens over time to his retirement. Here's what that means over 30 years. With 1.10% costs, David retires with $820,000. With 0.08% costs, he retires with $1,180,000. Watch this difference. The difference is $360,000. Same person. Same contributions. Same time frame. Different fee structure. $360,000 gone or $360,000 kept. That's the power of fees. That's what's at stake for David. And Wall Street is spending $127 million to make sure David never sees those numbers, never knows he's overpaying. Multiply David by 100 million American investors, and you understand the war happening in Washington right now. Billions of dollars at stake. Your retirement at stake. Here's what you need to do immediately. Don't wait for regulations that might never come. Don't hope Congress saves you. Protect yourself right now. Action 1. Research your fund's real total cost right now. Don't trust the expense ratio. Look up tracking error, securities lending revenue, transaction costs. Websites like Morningstar calculate this. Action 2. Compare to lowest cost alternatives. For S&P 500 funds, you should pay 0.03% to 0.10% maximum total cost. Anything above that, you're overpaying. Action 3. Move your money today. Don't wait for regulations. Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab have funds with total costs under 0.10%. Switch now. Every day you wait costs you money. Action 4. If your 401k only has expensive funds, demand better options. Talk to HR immediately. Tell them you want low-cost index funds. If enough employees demand it, they'll switch providers. Your voice matters. Action 5. Support these regulations publicly. Contact your Congress representatives. Tell them you support fee transparency. Wall Street has $127 million. You have your vote. Use it. Make your voice heard. Here's my prediction. These regulations will be watered down or killed. The profit margin disclosure will definitely be removed because that's what they fear most. Maybe watered down total cost disclosure survives. Maybe nothing survives. But even if regulations fail, you can protect yourself today. You have the power. Move to truly low-cost funds. Demand transparency. Stop letting Wall Street extract excessive profits from your retirement. Take control of your financial future now. Here's the bottom line. Wall Street is spending a fortune to keep you in the dark. The 2026 regulations would expose hidden costs and obscene profit margins. Whether regulations pass or die, you now know what to look for. Total cost, not expense ratio. Tracking error. Profit margins if you can find them.
You can protect yourself right now by moving to funds with total costs under 0.10%. Don't be like David overpaying for 30 years without knowing it. If you found this valuable, subscribe because I expose what Wall Street hides.
I've created a free index fund cost analyzer showing real costs of popular funds. Link in description. Drop a comment, will these regulations survive? Are you checking your costs now? I read every comment and I'll help you. Remember, Wall Street profits from your ignorance. You profit from transparency. Don't wait for regulations. Protect yourself today. Move your money.
Demand better options.
Fight back.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I expose more hidden costs Wall Street doesn't want you knowing about.